All right, today we're going to peel back the layers of something you see every single day, your skin. But we're going way beyond the surface to uncover its hidden life as, believe it or not, one of the most dynamic and intelligent parts of your entire immune system. Let's get right into it. So, when you think about your skin, what comes to mind? For most of us, it's kind of like a simple passive barrier, right? It's just this waterproof wall that keeps the good stuff in and the bad stuff out. Like wrapping a sandwich in plastic wrap to keep it fresh. Well, it turns out that image couldn't be more wrong. Your skin is actually a bustling, complex, and incredibly smart living ecosystem. It is constantly sensing what's going on, it's communicating, and it's defending you 24/7. So today, we're taking a journey inward to see how it really all works. Okay, so first up, let's look beyond that simple barrier idea and really explore the skin's hidden immunological anatomy. So, your skin is basically built in layers. You've got the epidermis on top, the dermis in the middle, and the subcutaneous tissue at the bottom. But the real secret here is the constant crosstalk, this nonstop conversation happening between all of these layers. It's this chatter between immune cells and even non-immune cells that makes your skin an active, intelligent organ. Now let's zoom in on that top layer, the epidermis, and meet the real unsung heroes of your skin's defense force, its very first responders. Let me introduce you to the keratinocytes. These cells make up a whopping 90% of your epidermis. And for the longest time, we just thought their only job was to, build the physical structure of your skin. But it turns out they're also these highly active immune sentinels, constantly on patrol for trouble. So how do they actually do it? Well, it's this brilliant three-step process. First, they sense danger. They have these specialized receptors that can spot telltale signs from pathogens or even signals from your own damaged cells. Step 2, they sound the alarm by pumping out their own antimicrobial weapons to fight invaders directly. And finally, they call for backup, sending out chemical flare signals that recruit the professional immune cells to the scene. It's an amazing system. All right, now let's go a little deeper into a structure we all have literally thousands of, but probably never think about from an immune perspective: the hair follicle. So get this, hair follicles are often described as immune-privileged sites. Now, what on earth does that mean? Well, it means they basically have a special hall pass from the immune system. They've figured out ways to hide from immune cells so they don't get attacked and destroyed as if they were some kind of foreign invader. And this really gives you a tale of two states. In a healthy, happy follicle, the cells basically make themselves invisible to the immune system and release these calming, everything's cool signals. But when that privilege is lost, like in an autoimmune condition called alopecia areata, that protective shield fails, and the body's own T cells go on the attack, mistaking the follicle for a threat. And it's not just the follicle itself. The sebaceous glands attached to them, yep, the ones that make your skin's oil, are also major immune players. When certain bacteria, like the one linked to acne, grow out of control, these glands can send out the call for inflammatory cells, which, as many of us know all too well, can lead to a pimple. So far, we've talked a lot about how the skin fights off invaders. But what if I told you that some of the most important players in your skin's health aren't your own cells at all? It's time to meet our tiny allies. Take a good look at that number. That's over 1 trillion. And that's a conservative estimate of how many microbes are living on your skin's surface right this second. It's a vast, thriving community, and we call it your skin microbiome. So the immediate reaction for a lot of us is, whoa, get them off, right? For decades, we've been taught that bacteria are the enemy, that germs are bad, and we need to wipe them out. But is that really the whole story? Not even close. Let me introduce you to Staphylococcus epidermidis. This is one of the most common bacteria on your skin, and it is a powerful ally. It actively calms down inflammation, it helps your skin fight off actual bad guys, it helps train your T cells, and it can even speed up wound healing. It's not a pest, it's a partner. Okay, so if these microbes are our partners, that raises a huge question. How does our body learn to accept them instead of just attacking them on sight? Well, this brings us to what's known as a critical window for immunity. And here's the absolute kicker. The peace treaty between your immune system and your skin's friendly microbes is basically signed in the first few weeks after you're born. This appears to be a one-time opportunity, a very special moment to establish lifelong tolerance. And this really shows you just how profound that difference is. In a newborn baby, when the skin is exposed to that friendly S. epidermidis, it trains these special regulatory T cells, or TREGs, whose whole job is to keep the immune system calm.
they learn to see this microbe as a friend. But in an adult, that exact same exposure triggers a defensive response. It's the same microbe, but a completely different reaction based on when you first meet it.
And scientists have actually pinpointed the conductor of this whole orchestra. It's a very special type of dendritic cell that is uniquely active in neonatal skin. Its job is to grab these friendly microbes and present them to the developing immune system in a way that basically says, hey, this one's cool, stand down. So, as we start to wrap up here, it's pretty clear that our skin is in this constant, delicate balancing act between our own cells, our microbial allies, and the crazy world outside. So, let's just quickly recap the big takeaways, shall we? First, your skin is an active, intelligent immune organ, not just a wall. Second, its main cells, the keratinocytes, are your frontline defenders. Third, your hair follicles are these fascinating zones of immune privilege. And maybe the most important point of all, your skin's health really depends on these tiny microbial allies that your body learns to tolerate in a critical window right after you're born. There's this quote from the research that just sums it all up perfectly. Whether your skin learns to tolerate something or learns to attack it is profoundly influenced by your stage of life. It's just a beautiful example of how our bodies adapt and learn over time. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. Could the specific microbes we encounter in our first few weeks of life actually set the stage and shape our skin's health for our entire lifetime? The science is increasingly suggesting that this critical window is one of the most important moments in our whole immunological story.